Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Sebelum kita memulakan program kita pada petang ini, marilah sama-sama kita membaca kitab Al-Fatihah. Auzubillahi minasyaitonirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin, arrahmanirrahim, maliki yaumiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Salam sejahtera kepada para penonton, kaki tangan IIUM, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan serta saudara-saudari sekalian di mana sahaja anda berada. Saya berharap anda berada di dalam keadaan sihat dan baik insya-Allah. Bertemu kita pada petang Jumaat yang barakah ini, 27 Oktober 2023 di dalam program Bual Bicara I Am a Student, I Am a Writer, siri kedua 2023. Program ini dibawakan terus daripada YouTube channel The Official IIM Library. Mohon para penonton untuk like, share dan subscribe agar lebih ramai mendapat manfaat daripada program ini. Yang berbahagia Puan Yusrina Abu Bakar, Ketua Pustakawan Dar Al-Hikmah Library. Yang berbahagia Ketua-Ketua Jabatan, Ketua-Ketua Bahagian, Ketua-Ketua Unit, para kaki tangan dan para penonton sekalian yang berusaha, ahli jawatankuasa program I Am a Student dan I Am a Writer siri 2 2023. Kalau pergi Tanjung Keramat, anak manis jangan diangkat. Bersama kita memohon rahmat, moga majlis mendapat berkat. Sebelum kita meneruskan acara pada petang ini, bagi memohon keberkatan daripada Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala atas kelancaran majlis, marilah sama-sama kita menadah tangan mengaminkan doa. Auzubillahi minasyaitonirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala asrafil mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Allahumma innaka khalaqul azim, innaka sami'un alim, innaka ghafurur rahim, innaka rabbul arsyil azim, innaka barrul jawadul karim. Ya Allah, Engkaulah yang mempunyai segala pujian, Engkaulah yang berhak menerima segala pujian, Engkaulah yang berhak menerima segala kesyukuran, Engkaulah yang memiliki segala perintah, di tangan Engkaulah segala kebajikan, kepada Engkaulah kembali segala urusan. Ya Allah, berikanlah kami kekuatan dalam menjayakan program ini dengan segala kefahaman dan tindakan wajar. Rezekikanlah kami dengan limpahan ilmu yang bermanfaat, yang tiada putusnya, untuk kami tunduk patuh dan taat kepadamu dalam setiap tindakan kami. Allahumma rizqan tayyiba wa ilman nafi'a wa amilan mutaqabbala. Allahumma ya Karim ya Rahim. Ya Allah, Engkau cucuria rahmat dan rahimmu ke atas program I Am a Student, I Am a Writer yang diadakan pada hari ini. Berkatilah ia dari awal hingga ke akhirnya. Ya fa'alu lima yurid. Kami juga memohon perlindungan daripadamu dari segala perkara yang boleh mencacat celakan program kami, dan daripada segala perkara yang melalaikan kami dari berbuat taat kepadamu. Kepadamu jua kami serah segala urusan kami. Rabbana alaika tawakkalna wa ilaika abna wa ilaikal masir. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanatan wa qina azaban nar. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa baraka wa sallam. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Baiklah, seterusnya kita ke agenda kemuncak, iaitu sesi bual bicara bersama panelis kita pada hari ini. Untuk sesi ini, saya akan serahkan majlis kepada Puan Moderator yang telah kita lantik, iaitu Sister Nuha Mohamad Najib. Oleh itu, majlis dengan ini mempersilakan dengan segala hormat.
Terima kasih pengacara majlis dan atas bacaan doa sebentar tadi. Pertama-tamanya saya ucapkan ribuan terima kasih kepada para penonton kerana sudi untuk bersama-sama kami di petang ini menghadiri program talk kami, I'm a Student, I'm a Writer. Suka untuk saya ingatkan pada para penonton untuk like dan share live video kita supaya lebih ramai lagi boleh menonton dan lebih ramai boleh dapat manfaat yang sama, insyaAllah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Saya Nuha Najib dan saya akan menjadi moderator anda untuk sepanjang bual bicara I'm a Writer, I'm a Student, I'm a Writer siri 2 tahun 2023 kali ini. InsyaAllah bersama-sama kita ahli panel jemputan, saudari Sharifah, Nadirah, Syed, Zainal, Ariff yang mungkin akan berkongsi sedikit sebanyak tentang bagaimana beliau boleh berkecimpung dalam bidang penulisan untuk kali ini, insyaAllah. Jadi sebelum saya ke agenda utama, lebih elok jika saya perkenalkan sedikit sebanyak tentang panel kita sebab orang kata apa, tak kenal maka tak aruf. Jadi buat pengetahuan para penonton, saudari Sharifah kita merupakan anak kelahiran Perak. Beliau telah berjaya mendapat ijazah sarjana optometri, kemudiannya disambung dengan ijazah dengan sarjana muda dalam bidang sejarah dan tamadun Islam dan sekarang tengah ambil ijazah kedoktoran di UIM. Betul ya?
Betul.
Betul Okay. Jadi sepanjang beliau telah menjadi sepanjang beliau menjadi penulis, beliau telah berjaya untuk hasilkan 17 buah e-book, 3 buah buku terbitan sendiri dan 6 buah buku penerbitan luar, dan 5 daripada buku yang telah beliau tulis telah berjaya disenaraikan dalam best selling list di Pesta Buku Malaysia. Which I would say that is a very amazing achievement lah untuk dalam usia yang masih muda ni. Jadi saya percaya yang para penonton pun dah tak sabar nak dengar bual bicara kita pada hari ini daripada seorang yang sangat-sangat hebat macam saudari Sharifah. Tapi sebelum tu saya nak inform para penonton yang bual bicara kita pada hari ini ada 2 sesi. Sesi yang pertama akan jadi sesi bual bicara. Saya akan tanyakan soalan kepada ahli panel kita dan sesi kedua kita akan teruskan dengan Q&A session. Jadinya saya mohon kepada para penonton untuk sertakan soalan-soalan anda di ruangan komen untuk sesi kedua nanti, insya-Allah. Jadi sekarang saya mulakan dengan soalan pertama. Kita akan lebih tertumpu kepada bila, bagaimana dan macam mana saudari Sharifah boleh berminat untuk masuk dalam bidang penulisan, especially that you are from science stream, and also siapa yang membangkitkan semangat ataupun memberi motivasi kepada saudari untuk menjadi seorang penulis, insya-Allah.
Thank you very much, Nuha, for the question, and also thank you everyone for being here today. If I would like to tell about the journey of me in becoming an author, I would like to say that it brings so many memories when I was a child, because during my childhood days, my father himself, he would always encourage me to write a lot because of the way that creative writing has the ability to express yourself in terms of emotions, ideas, and so on. And the way he nurtured was really empowering, where he was also inspiring because he had also written a book himself. And what he did was to nurture such kind of skill is to keep on buying me notes and also diaries and journals where myself, it made me feel excited to write. So in my childhood days, after coming back from school, I would always feel excited to write. And as I grow up, I find that writing itself is a great coping mechanism that enables me to stay grounded and mindful. And um, along the way, I found the passion. My passion was actually writing. And when the question comes, how did a science stream student become a writer, and how can I start to venture in the creative process itself? It all started from the realization itself, because being a science student was actually did not came from myself, but it came from the pressure around me, expectations from people, and also at that time I really didn't discover myself that much, so I was just going with the flow. But somehow the realization really hit me hard after facing a lot of battles and also hardship in life. So, in the end, I found that when you're being close to your own nature, when you do things that you love and make you feel alive, it really drives your fuel towards meaningfulness and also hope. And somehow, it also makes me feel much more progressive and also productive when I do the things that really connects with my soul. Thank you, Nuha.
Okay, thank you, Sister Nadirah, for that. You know how they say a person's childhood shaped who they are, and I think that really shows how why you became a writer, right? Because of your father and how you were seeing other people who are writing too. Jadi sebelum kita ke soalan seterusnya, saya nak ingatkan para penonton yang sedang menonton sekarang ni untuk like dan share kita punya live video ke orang lain, ke lebih ramai orang, dan juga untuk sertakan komen dan soalan-soalan anda untuk sesi kedua nanti, insyaAllah. Jadi, we'll move on to the next question. Kalau kita tengok penulisan buku Saudari Sharifah, we can see that lots of your books adalah genre yang spiritual dan juga genre yang very religious punya content lah kan. Is there any particular reason for you to always write that kind of books, and is there any plan to write in other genres and also in a fictional books in the future?
Okay, right now, to say that the book itself is fully religion generic, I can see most of them are, but I also did venture into poetry genre, which is they are under religion and also poetry. But I believe that most of my writings are really strongly related to the Islamic spiritual itself. So the reason behind this is because it really relates to my past, which is my past experience, and also what had happened in the past had really inspired me a lot in writing about this genre. Okay, I could say in my early university days, or it all actually started when I was in my high school days, but it became intense when I was in my university days, because at that time the ideas were going, and also the thing to write has become actively known by the people out there. So what I could say is that there is a moment in my life where I had actually lost myself, and being lost is really something that gives you nothing but darkness. At that time, I was experiencing a really serious condition, which is related to my mental health. I had mental health problems, and I was diagnosed with general anxiety and also OCD. So, as a psychiatric patient, I struggled a lot in finding meaning of life. And to see that religion itself had also give me a big impact in the recovery journey itself. So I was actually searching for the meaning in religion, because there was a moment where I have many skeptic thoughts toward religion itself, but somehow along the way, I discovered Imam Al-Ghazali's book titled Deliverance from Error and also The Starting of Guidance. And that book had really shaped my school of thought and also about the things that I believe and not believe in. And it also inspired me to have a better perspective in Islam. So about Imam Agali's journey, he was searching his soul and also his belongingness in the society and also in Islam itself. And in the end, he chose to be closer to the Sufi ways of approach in learning religion and also finding a home in the Sufis tradition. And somehow this had influenced me a lot to start my own journey, to embark on my own journey in finding the meaning of Islam itself. And also along the way, I had discovered books which are related to the journey of scholars in how they find Islam and how they embrace Islam and how they have a deep understanding of Islam itself. So it all comes to the journey of me to get to know Islam as a holistic approach and also a lifestyle that I can incorporate to keep on moving in life. Thank you, Nuha.
Inshallah. You know, just because we were born as a Muslim, it doesn't mean that we should just follow it blindly, right? You need to always search for it, search the meaning of why are you becoming a Muslim so that you become a better practicing Muslim. And I totally agree with you on that. And I would really encourage audiences to buy Sister Sharifah books for better understanding on Islam and also for spiritual and also mental health issues purposes. It's also related, right? Your books is also related to mental issues content,
Yeah,
right?
I wrote a lot about mental health awareness.
Which is
There are a
very
lot of the content in these books.
and as I mentioned before to the audience is that uh, Sister Sharifah has approximately wrote about 26 books, and that is totally amazing considering her age and also considering that she's also a student at the same time of being an author, which I think most people would be very curious on how do you manage your time and how do you have the time to juggle between becoming a student and also being a writer and do all the publishing things. What's your tips on that?
I, if I want to be honest, personally, on my behalf, there are actually no tips I could say, but for me personally, how I do it is I see I see writing as a coping mechanism itself. My belief is that everyone should have something that they can depend upon to have to release their stress and also to keep being grounded and also mindful. But when I discuss about the matter in allocating time to write with my author's friend, which is I'm giving the tips from the other author friends of mine, they would always set a time which is within an hour or 2 hours to sit down and also to write. Some of them also choose a day within a week, which is in 1 week. They don't do it every day, but they choose a day in that one whole week to write from day to night. Those are one of the method and also approach in writing and also balancing between being a student and also working. But for me myself, I also tried to allocate time, but somehow it doesn't work for me. But what really works for me is seeing writing as something that needs to be enjoyed. The creative process is something that needs to be appreciated, and also the writing spirit itself also needs to be embraced when we want to write something. Because I find that writing is not to put pressure and also seeing it as a responsibility, but seeing it as something that will will enlighten the people out there, and also giving a strong meaning towards ourselves. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. Seeing, as you mentioned just now, that you don't allocate times for yourself to specifically write. Oh, I need to write this on this time, or there's a scheduled time for that, right? So how long does it take for you to write one book? And you know how as a writer you dapat idea kan, but you kan dapat idea dalam one sitting, right? So let's say time tu you tengah kelas ke or anything, lepas tu tiba-tiba idea dia tu datang. So how what will you do to avoid the all of the ideas from missing?
One of the ways is that I would always write it down, because I really do appreciate every idea or inspiration that comes at that time, because I believe that it is something that needs to be taken care of, because every inspiration and also ideas that comes without warning or just comes randomly, I find it as something that can be expand into a bigger point or a bigger message for the people out there. So what I do is that I write it down, and also I make sure that I will not uh, lost it, because when it comes to inspiration, for me myself, somehow the ideas, besides that, inspiration can also come without warning, and also come without even being welcome. Another way is that I try to focus on the problems in the society and also community, especially in the Islamic community itself. And also, there are two things that I would really love to address in my books, which is moderate Muslimah, the topic on moderate Muslimah, and second is on mental health awareness. Because in the future, I feel like I want to dive deeper and also explore deeper in this two topic, because these are the two topics where I find that it's really relatable and it needs more awareness in the society itself. So it comes to the question, how long do I take in finishing one manuscript? Um, the most quickest time is probably 1 month and a half, because probably because I just love writing so much. So I feel like it is something that does not need to be forced, but it comes from the heart. Thank you.
Thank you for that. But if I may just ask, usually how long does it take to publish one book? Like writing is one thing, but to publish, how long does it take?
For publication, usually it takes within 6 months, 6 months to
Mm,
1 year. That
for
is the
both
standard
international
procedure.
and local, is it?
Uh, for international, it also comes within 6 to 1 year,
Mhm.
and the maximum year that they can take is 2 years. The earliest is 6 months.
Also, if you may share the procedure of wanting to, if there's any of the audiences wanted to become an author, but they don't know which platforms that they should use to showcase their talent in writing. If you may share the procedure or the journey to publish their manuscript.
Yeah. The journey to writing. Actually, I started with self publishing, because for me, to just jump into traditional publishing, which is to collaborate with the local publishing house, is something for me at that time was nearly impossible, because not to see that there was no possibility. This, for me myself, I don't have that confidence, but for most of the authors out there, I believe that they do have that kind of chances and also opportunity. But me at that time, I didn't have that confidence to just approach any publishing house and just tell them that I would love to publish with them, because at that time my experience was not that many. And at that time, I just started to work on self publishing. So I published my first book. And the process also took within 6 months. But somehow when we self-publish, it is actually much more easier for us to allocate the timeline, which is we can choose for the book to be published earlier, and also maybe if we need time, it can also be lengthened the timeline, because for self-publishing, usually we will need to invest in it. We would usually use our own money, and also we have to pay for it, and that's why probably me myself, in terms of financial, I would choose traditional publishing. And also when it comes to self-publishing, we need to do many things. Most of the things we need to do it on our own, in terms of writing, of course, I mean editing, and also graphic designs. I mean, most of the things we need to cater them all alone. But I mean, there are only certain kind of services offered by the publishing house itself, because it is not traditional, it is self-publishing. And then after that, I also started to write ebooks, which is one of the way, another way besides self-publishing, and also to give the awareness, and also to introduce to the audience out there, is by using social media platform, which is I use Instagram. I started my Instagram page, my writing page, when I was in my early 20s, because I find that social media can be one of the biggest place where we can gain audience, and also where we can share our ideas, and also connect with the people who share the same ideas as we do. And from there, I started to share about my self publishing book. And so the word started to spread. And then after that, because of financial problems, I stopped doing self publishing, and I start writing ebooks, because ebooks for me is much more cost effective. So after I wrote about more than 17 ebooks, and Alhamdulillah, the process was fun, and also the audience was also great. The support, everything was Alhamdulillah according to what I planned, and also the message being received was also smooth. And I'm really happy that people are inspired by our works. The thing that I really love the most is when people know and also understand the message, and can increase the awareness, and also people can also spread love, and also the message from the book itself. So besides self-publishing and also ebook, the third is traditional publishing, where you have to collaborate, and also need to follow certain rules, and also regulation, and also ideas given by the publishing house itself, because they are going to like cater everything, including the costs, and also the book process, the book content, and also outside, and also the marketing strategy and all. But so there is a big difference between self and also traditional publishing. But everything related, whether it's a traditional self-publishing and also ebooks, everything needs to be exposed to the audience, and that is where I find that social media can become a tool to introduce our books to the audience out there. But one thing about being an author is that it's true, we can choose whether to be active or not, because we are not public figures, we are just people writing messages. I mean, there are authors being public figures, but for me myself, I believe that as an author, even though you're not someone that influential or all, but we need to stay active in order for the message of the book to reach the people out there. Because even when we talk with the publishers and all, they also advise us to be active for the book to be recognized by more crowd and also audience. Thank you, Noah.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. I hope to those who are interested to become an author, take note of that so that you can start by publishing in the ebooks for it to be more cost effective. And now I'll move on to the next question. We will now be discussing on the books that has been written by Sister Sharifah, which is the Healing the Heart, which were published in the June 2020, June last year, right? So
Yeah.
this book is also the genre spiritual and also religious kind of genre. And if you may elaborate on this book, just give a very brief synopsis on this book, and if you may share a quote that touches your heart when you were writing this book.
Uh, Healing the Heart talks about frustration and also the process in how we can reach guidance itself, which is the book talks about the ways that we can apply throughout the process and also journey in embracing the light, which is the guidance of Allah. And the book, I could say there are many maybe set of tools and also a collection of thoughts where it touches more on the approach on mental health and also integrated with the Islamic spiritual approach. So I could read a quote in the book, and it is related to strength, but I'm gonna make it probably really short because this book is also included poetries, my own poetries. So I will just read a short poetry to make it much more shorter. Between the ups and downs, I am full of smiles and frowns, but I choose to dance on all grounds and be celebrated in all towns. Okay, thank you.
If you may elaborate more on that quote, on why do you choose that quote?
Okay, it's about the people who are hurting, the people who are experiencing pain in life. They choose to keep a smile and they choose to hide their pain because they believe that even though they choose to show their pain, empathy and compassion will not be offered. I mean, this is actually much more centered uh, for the people who are experiencing mental health problems and also challenges and also hardship. So, not everybody can extend kindness and also show compassion and also wanting to pat you on the back. So in the end, I could say strength is the only way to find your way out of the situation and also to connect yourself with God will also aid you and also for you yourself to help yourself in finding a way to recover and to find that remedy needs a journey. And there are actually inside this book I had actually highlighted three ways, which is an approach from islamic islamic element, then you for therapy, which is you seeing a therapy, and then lastly is about your own self healing, which is how can you heal yourself after you have gone through therapy and also you have gone through the Islamic spiritual healing itself. So I could say, even though people out there are facing pain and they are experiencing a lot of problem, I know that adulthood is really harsh because most of us choose to not talk about our problems. We choose to hide our problem. We choose to not actually discuss this because not everybody can understand. And that is the main reason that we bottle up our emotion, and somehow along the way it will reach our threshold limit, we will explode, and also somehow we will experience things that are not welcome in life. So the message here is that I'm trying to validate the emotions over here, which is to tell the people out there that we are sharing the same emotion, and I am offering, I am suggesting the way out of the problem itself by having the book itself as a companion. Thank you, Nuha.
Mashallah. Yeah, That words feels like a warm hug. It somehow it heals my mental for a moment. Okay.
I'm happy to hear that.
Thank you very much. Especially in this fourth week, it's very hectic to all students. I'm
I
pretty sure all the
see.
students are very, very busy right now, and I'm pretty sure most of the audiences would feel very, very comforted with your words. Thank you for that. Jadi,
Most welcome.
kita dah ke soalan yang terakhir. Saya galakkan kepada para penonton untuk sertakan soalan-soalan anda di ruangan komen untuk kita ke sesi seterusnya sebentar saja lagi, insyaAllah. Jadi, sementara kita tunggu soalan daripada penonton, saya akan teruskanlah dengan soalan yang terakhir, insyaAllah. Since saudari Sharifah dah banyak menulis dan dah banyak buku yang diterbitkan dalam 26 buah buku dan 5 buah buku dah berjaya masuk dalam best selling list di peringkat antarabangsa dan juga di peringkat Malaysia, betul ya? Jadi apa pencapaian tertinggi yang saudari nak capai sebagai penulis? InsyaAllah.
Kalau bercakap tentang apa yang what I would like to achieve, first of all, it's related to my own self goal, which is to be the best I can in writing and also to reach more international opportunities. Second is a message, a personal message that I would like to extend to the people out there, which is I would love for the Malaysian community or the people in Malaysia would be much more aware about mental health problems. I mean, to increase mental health awareness. This is the thing that I want to achieve. In the end, people in Malaysia can actually understand what is the unseen pain like.
Again, yeah, the last one.
Pardon? Pardon?
You're completed already?
Ada.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm sorry, I couldn't. So, the next question would be, where do you see your books in 5 years? Where do you see you as an author and your books in 5 years from now?
I could say, if it's according to my dream, I could say that I would love to reach, to have the opportunity to be published by the 5 big publishers, and one of the publisher would be Penguin, because I find that from there, the message in the book can reach to more audience and probably worldwide.
Inshallah.
And also to venture in writing fiction genre, which is right now I'm working on it and hoping that I can publish books on both genre by sharpening skills as time goes by.
Is it possible for you to share just a little bit of your manuscript, or is it confidential?
Yeah, it's confidential. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But I could say that the book itself, it's toward social critic, I could say. Yeah, much more like that.
Is it
In terms
related to
of
mental health?
it's related to judgment that happen in the Islamic community itself, which is people who I think they're holier than thou, and starting to judge other people based on appearance in and out and so on. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that. And that marks the end of the first session, and insyaAllah sekarang terima kasih kepada para penonton kerana bertahan sehingga ke sesi pertama. Jadi sekarang kita akan ambil a short breaks before we go further to the second session, the Q&A session. So dalam masa break ni saya galakkan kepada para penonton untuk sertakan komen-komen anda, soalan-soalan jika ada di ruangan komen untuk sesi seterusnya, insya-Allah. Okay, inshallah we will start with the next session, which is the Q&A session. For the first one, let's start with the question by Umu Wafa. Do you experience writer's block and how do you deal with it?
Yeah, I do experience writer's block along the journey within probably more than 6 years, or I could say, in the writing journey itself, I do experience writer's block. But somehow it happens when I feel mentally exhausted and also physically exhausted, because being a writer is not a walk in the park and also a bed of roses, even though how much I love it, because it includes us engaging with people. So when we engage with people, when we work with people, of course, there will be problems that arise, but somehow along the way I learn to find what's much more bigger. Is it my mission and vision in conveying the message itself, or is it the problems that other people offer and also cause? Because for me, there was a moment where I find that I want to stop writing. This is after I started to be active in traditional publishing. I started to feel worn out because of I could say that working with publishers, there are also hiccups along the way, because not everything is smooth. There will be difference in I could say difference in ideas, difference in agreements, and things that we probably find it uncomfortable and all, because I believe that this happens everywhere. And somehow there are ideas that want to be a change, demands, and also so on, because I felt overwhelmed at that time, and somehow I put my pen down and I just took a break for 3 months. That was a month where I find it really healing, and also it gives me a realization that one of the way that I myself and also probably the people out there can overcome writer's block is to just take a break, have a rest, because you deserve to rest after such a tiring journey. Everyone out there deserves to rest when they feel tired of everything that happens to them, which includes internally and also externally. Because I believe that people will just be people, even though we work on anything to please them or to just reach their expectation would be nearly impossible. So I find that rather to choose to impress and also gaining the approval of other, it's better for me. It's better for me to just look inside of me and see the things that I can change, because my psychologist told me that we can't change the perspective and also the view of others on us, but we can change the things inside us, how we can react and also respond to others. So what I did to overcome the writer's block situation is to allow myself to rest and also to give myself a break and also to start finding myself again, because along the way in life we have to keep on reseeking ourselves to connect with ourselves again and again, because I believe that that is what's life all about. It is to keep on finding ourselves in the midst of we are facing the things that we have no clue about, but we choose to keep on to persist, even though it is so exhausting and even though it is so tiring. Because having writer's block for me personally is so much tiring. It feels that you're disconnected with something that is valuable to you. But I believe that the things that are given is highly related to how you appreciate it. So that's why in the end I started to explore and getting to know myself again, in order how can I use the tool which is writing, and also starting to appreciate and using it in a much more better way. Thank you, Wafa.
Inshallah. The next question by Aindun binti Ahmad Razali. Pernahkah saudari mendapat kritikan ke atas penulisan saudari di media sosial atau di platform lain? Then if I may add the question, and how do you cope with all of this criticism?
Pernah. Banyak. Pernah je. Okay. Yeah, because in the initially phase and also stage, facing criticism and also I could say harsh criticism, because I truly can accept the constructive one. And I try to tell, because at first I was really not comfortable, and it's really hard for me to accept all kind of criticisms, including the constructive one. But along the way, I tried to differentiate between the constructive and not non-constructive, because for me the constructive one is trying to build a better writing style, a better writing content. It is to give you a positive insight into how you can create a better outcome, and also how you can improve as a whole, whether in terms of anything it can be. And the and the not constructive one is something that can cause you um, mental health deterioration, overthinking, and also the things that can actually make you fall as a whole. But it also depends on the person how they perceive the criticism itself. But for me, I personally would love to know how to differentiate both, because I believe criticism comes, it doesn't always comes from a bad place. um Probably some of them are trying to help, but I could say that probably mostly are trying to send hatred and all. But in the end, I could see that in ignoring the things that are insignificant can really give you power in controlling your journey ahead. Knowing how to differentiate between the bad and good things that people are trying to give you can really empower you into becoming someone that you never know that you can become. Because what I actually learned throughout life is that when we pay attention to the things that are pulling us down rather than focusing on our goal, mission, vision, it can really drain you, and it can also be one of the reasons that can stop you from keep moving forward to achieve the thing that really means a lot to you. So, but I could not deny the moments where I felt really difficult to acknowledge that these are the things that can build me. I mean, the positive one can build me. And also, I find it really difficult for me to ignore the negative ones. It was a struggle. It was not easy. It was not easier. It was not easy, I mean, to just dismiss everything. No, it was a process. But somehow I find that, you know what, sometimes the journey itself, sometimes I feel personally that I want to take control of the journey rather than being open to the flow of the journey. I mean, I always wanted to put expectation on how I want the journey to be rather than trying to gradually accepting how it will flow. So what I learned is that when we want to take control over something that we cannot control, it can cause serious damage to our mental health. But when we try to be open to the flow and also the process of the journey itself, I believe that we can find the inspiration along the way into accepting and also embracing the negativity that comes along the way. Because for me, the basic thing in life is that toxicity will happen, toxic people will exist, toxic environments will exist, and the many kinds of toxicity will happen. I could say toxic toxic doctors, toxic educators, toxic peers, and also the many toxic people out there, they exist. But also the good people exist. And just don't allow the toxic people in life to overcome our hope in finding the good ones, because there is a good balance of everything. If for me myself, I don't have good experience with the toxic doctors, but somehow I cannot deny the existence of the good psychiatrists out there. So there are many things that we need to see in both ways. Thank you, Noha.
Okay, thank you. Untuk soalan seterusnya daripada saudari Nur Atika, dia tanya, di mana buku tersebut boleh dibeli? Adakah hanya secara online?
Boleh beli. Ada juga kat kedai buku. You can find it dekat Popular atau MPH. Kalau Healing the Heart ni dia ada kat dua-dua. MPH ada, Popular pun ada, online pun ada. Boleh beli dekat website Iman Publication. Sebab kalau untuk Healing the Heart ni, saya tak pegang lah buku dia.
Kiranya you tak ada your own copy lah for that, is it?
Yeah?
Yang your
Ada?
stock, yang kiranya you don't have any stock with you? Yang you personally
for Healing the Heart, it was last year's book. Right now it's out of stock, but you can find it at MPH Popular online.
Okay, kita ke soalan seterusnya dari saudari Norlian Mohamad Zubair. Boleh kongsikan apakah proses yang saudari perlu lalui semasa menulis buku? Apakah yang saudari rasa penulis baru wajib tahu sebelum menulis buku?
Okay, proses Okay, cuba digest question jap. Kalau ikutkan proses lah kan, I could say kalau for starters, for me, somehow kalau kita nak control sangat the writing process itself to create macam a masterpiece, it will be kind of difficult if we're trying to have a systematic approach initially. So, but for me, even at first, I don't have any systematic approach, because being creative is to actually being open to any possibility that enables you to create the outcome itself. So for me, this is just my personal opinion. I could say the first thing is try to just be open with the process, like how I mentioned earlier, to just allow yourself to write everything that comes from the heart, everything that you feel at that moment, because you're not going to like show your work to anybody at yourself, but you're just trying to practice how your writing style will appear once you jot down or write down everything that you feel. Because first of all, the things that I find it important is to extract everything that is inside you and put everything into words, just to see do you really love to write about. Because in the old days when I start to write, the more I write, I could find a niche area where I find that I want to write about this. I like to write about this, because the important thing is to know what you love to write about. That is the first thing. And the second thing I could say is to allow yourself to be open in the upcoming process of publication, because personally I could say it might somehow be a rough one to people. It might be a rough experience to some people out there, but somehow I could say, if you know what is much more important, if you know what is your true priority, I think your dream can overcome the difficulties in the process itself. So the first thing is to just write and also extract the things inside of you and put it on paper. And second is to try to be open to the process itself. And so the third question is that my probably I could say for new writers is to probably we can, I mean, try to learn in finding what actually suits our liking. But because for me, when we have a look around us and to see what's actually happening in the society, we can see what are the problems that are really needs to the problems that needs to be addressed. I mean, probably these are the things that you can take into account and start to write about it. Yeah. Thank you, Noha.
Okay.
I mean, thank you.
Inshallah.
Who's the person? Thank you for just now.
On to the next question by Saudari Suhani Sarani. How long does it take for you to finish one book?
For me to finish one book, it takes the maximum um, the maximum is probably 2 months. Minimum is 1 month and a half for one book.
On to the next question by Saudari Sabria Sabri. What are the tips and tricks for a new writer to ensure their writing content can catch readers' attention?
Like I mentioned previously, the first is to be aware about the things that are happening around you and also in the community, in the society, or probably you can just have a look in your circle, your own circle, which is your probably Islamic circle or peer circle that are related to mental health issue. I believe that there are many things in this world or in this country that needs to be addressed, whether it comes to politic issues, the upcoming the reset generation issues, and also things that are in need of addressing. The thing is, you just need to be open to the things around you, because being a writer, maybe we are like spending our time in a room and writing, but somehow there is a realization that hits me, the need of connecting to people and also trying to expose yourself to the recent news or to the recent things that are happening. For example, the people nowadays are in need of addressing our mental health issues, or people who need to address about the things that we find it. For example, judgmental Islamic people, all of these things, there can be many things for us to, address and also catch the attention of the readers. Thank you.
Untuk soalan seterusnya dari saudari Nur Hazika binti Muhammad Iskandar. Penulis selalunya banyak menggunakan pilihan bahasa yang kreatif dan puitis. Bagaimana kita nak memperbanyakkan pemilihan bahasa yang sebegini? Adakah dengan cara membaca atau ada tips yang lain?
Kalau for me personally, yalah, cliche. I know how cliche it sounds. Membacakan. But for me, membaca is something yang orang kata it is something basic yang kita perlukan for us to know the many words, because for me sebenarnya bila saya when I write along the way too, I learn to pick up words, which is when I write I want to make the sentence much more catchy, much more inspirational, I could say, or much more empowering. I try to choose words that I find suitable, and one of the thing is to ni lah, kena rajin tengok thesaurus dengan tengok synonym of the word itself. When orang kata that, memang macam tu lah, macam for me myself, I keep on, saya suka macam sama ada Google atau tengok kamus, tengok words yang more than just one word kan. When we look up about the word, then kita tengok word apa yang sinonim dengan ni, word apa macam the thesaurus. So macam kat situ expand. So kita ada macam banyak lah vocab in hand. Yeah.
Okay, insyaAllah to the next question by Saudara Daniel Rizman. Can you share summary from the Healing the Heart book? Maybe for promotional also, to promote your book.
Pardon? Okay. Okay, share.
Sorry.
Kalau as a summary tadi macam dah mention kan, so it's about sebenarnya Healing the Heart ni is about healing lah, macam the healing process of a person from darkness to light. Untuk metafora dia macam tu lah, from darkness to light, which is a person that feels lost at the moment. They're trying their best to struggle, finding their way out of the hardship and finding hope and also faith again in regaining their life balance and also their faith towards life and also reconnecting to God. Because in the book itself, I mentioned about frustration, the progress, and also the outcome that the book would like to suggest to the audience and also readers. And Healing the Heart itself too, it is based on my own personal experience juga, to struggle in finding meaning and also purpose in life, because I believe that it is not easy for us to struggle when there is no companion or words of affirmation that will try to tell us that everything is going to be okay, everything will be fine at the end of the day. Those are the things that I find difficult at that moment to search, because like I said earlier, not everybody can understand. So in the end, when people say that someone can understand, you just need to have a friend. Yeah, I know that works, but not everybody would be willing to listen to you like every day or 24 per hours. I know that is impossible. So in the end, people, they would like to heal themselves. And also I find that bibliotherapy is really workable, which is there is this new healing vibe where people say buku healing, tak bagi impact apa macam tu kan. But somehow I find that bibliotherapy exists. Bibliotherapy exists, and there is a therapeutic punya element within bibliotherapy. Maybe you can search for it macam tu. But I know yang paling mandatory is to find a therapist. That is no doubt about it. But there is also another side towards orang kata healing process itself, which is to find things that orang kata can recenter us, which is how can we be grounded, mindful, and also stable at one moment. Of course, we need orang kata something that can cope us, and there are many. For me myself, I believe that every one of us, they have their own healing process, because we heal differently from one person. We don't heal the same. Some people maybe find solace in reading. Some people find healing in taking a walk in the park every day. Some people find healing in sitting at the beach, and also so on. These are like personal healing or self-healing for people, apart from seeing doctors and also consuming medication and so on, because those two things, they're mandatory. But how can you offer yourself healing, the healing process itself? How can you embark on that to become much more of a person and much more centered? So yeah. And also the book itself, the Healing the Heart book, also is a modification from my first self published book. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Actually, we have one last question from Saudari Atika. She was quite she was asking on the price of the books, and if you may also promote your books, all of your books, like
Kalau
elaborate more on your books
oh,
for that purposes, if you may. Thank you.
for Healing the Heart, it's 30 ringgit. 30 ringgit. So promote semua buku. Macam tu pun.
Yang the current one and also Invoke, I think. Yang the best
Oh,
selling
current one.
Yeah.
So kalau the current one, I could say there are two of it currently, which is Embracing the True You. This is under PTS publication, and the latest one is Masrid lah. Oh Allah Heal Me. This is under Masrid, and this is sebenarnya both keluar macam this one keluar first, and then this one 1 month after lah macam tu. So this is like a collection of du'as, sebenarnya my own personal du'as that I created. There are 90 collection of personal du'as, and these du'as sebenarnya inspiration dia comes from my own personal journey lah. Orang kata in struggling with depression, anxiety. So at that moment, I feel that macam memang kita guna doa-doa macam daripada hadith dan Quran, betul. There's no doubt about it. But I feel like I want to connect more to God. So I started to create my own collection of du'as where I felt really connected. Macam betul-betul comfortable and connected when I use my own words untuk kita minta kat Tuhan apa yang kita nak. So these are like the 90 collection du'as, and collection of du'as ni memang they touch on family punya connection, passion, interest, hope, aspiration, workplace safety, and so on lah. So kalau Embracing the True You ni, their approach in actually finding ourselves lah, to be the authentic you, I could say. So Embracing the True You is a book in a journey to find your own authentic self, because people nowadays, they love to be other people rather than themselves. They are much more impressed and also wanting, highly driven to be someone that they are not. And also in this book, dia integrated dengan Islamic dan juga psychology punya element. But somehow, walaupun I don't have, orang kata, yelah, a bachelor in psychology, but somehow saya ada, orang kata, ambil course psychology lah daripada international university semua, and also it gives me sufficient insight, alhamdulillah lah, to write a book yang integrated dengan psychology punya approach. So those are the two books. Sebenarnya ikutkan ada 5 lagi lah sebenarnya, so tak apa. So saya just promote dua tu je lah, macam tu.
Okay. So to those yang interested, boleh beli dekat MPH or Popular, or you boleh beli through their website, betul eh? Okay.
Betul.
It's around 30 ringgit or 35, something like that. Not more
Kebanyakan
than 35.
Not more than 35, I could say.
Yeah. Jadi sebelum since kita dah nak dah nak habis program, dah ke penghujung program. Before kita habiskan kita punya talk ni, ada satu soalan yang saya rasa perlu untuk ditanyakan kepada Sister Sharifah. Sebagai pelajar yourself, adakah you galakkan pelajar-pelajar yang lain untuk jadi penulis dalam masa yang sama diorang menjadi seorang pelajar sekolah ataupun pelajar universiti? And jika saudari boleh kongsikan sedikit harapan ataupun kata-kata semangat untuk para pemuda yang ingin menjadi seorang penulis juga, insyaAllah.
For me, I believe that everyone, they have their own vision, goal or dream, or maybe if there is no goal or dream, but I believe that there is hope inside of them, wanting to create or wanting to reach somewhere or wanting to do something. But regardless all, I could say, don't be something because of other people are being or doing that thing, but be something because you want to be that thing, you want to do that thing. For example, if you want to create drawings, paintings, then do it. If you want to write, make sure that you want to do it because of you, not because of other people. Because what I've learned from my past is that when you do something because of other people, it will not last long. That if you do it because you want to do it, because you are highly passionate to do it, then inshallah, with God wills, it will last. And moreover, for those, who are interested to write and also wanting to be an author, I could say, I would highly encourage for you to write in a way that can welcome readers, in all that came from all kind of walk of backgrounds. Walk of life or backgrounds. Try to address all the issues and not also, all their macam mana nak addresskan diorang punya cara psikologi diorang, macam bukan sekadar judge lah in the writing itself, because judgmental tone, for me personally, it doesn't welcome people, it doesn't celebrate people, even people that we need to address in all walk of life. I believe that untuk address siapa-siapa saja atau untuk celebrate siapa-siapa saja, I believe that we are all not, orang kata, comfortable dengan something yang membuatkan kita rasa inferior. So just to say that when we want to write, make sure that we are peka lah dengan audience kita, and also never to stop studying and also learning things yang outside of kita punya expertise, which is when we want to write, we have to know more than one thing. Sebab I'm inspired by the scholars in the golden age of Islam, where they choose to learn more than just one thing. They are not expert in only one thing, but they are expert in many things. Not to say that we need to be like them, but we would want to do something that allow us to just explore more than one thing, and also being a well-rounded person, and also someone that is knowledgeable, to have compassion and welcoming people to Islam and also to humanity itself. Thank you, Nuha.
Okay. And that marks the end of this talk. Jadi penonton sekalian, terutamanya saya ucapkan ribuan terima kasih kepada saudari Sharifah kerana sudi untuk terima jemputan kami. Saya juga ucapkan ribuan terima kasih kepada para penonton kerana sudi untuk hadir buat bicara kita pada petang ini, insyaAllah. Saya rasa perkongsian sebentar tadi memang beri manfaat yang banyak kepada semua orang, termasuk diri saya sendiri. Saya pun jadi interested untuk beli buku saudari Nadirah, dan saya harap buat para penonton yang sedang menonton, semoga dengan apa yang telah dikongsikan tadi dapat menjadi satu titik tolak untuk mereka-mereka yang sebenarnya teringin untuk menjadi penulis, dan Tapi dalam anda menulis, harapnya tulis dengan tujuan untuk memberikan manfaat yang lebih baik kepada masyarakat seperti saudari Nadirah kita pada hari ini. Dan insyaAllah itu sahaja daripada saya. Yang baik daripada Allah, yang buruk datang daripada diri saya. Tapi kedua-duanya daripada Allah. Jadi insyaAllah saya kembalikan majlis kita kepada Tuan Pengacara Majlis. InsyaAllah.
Alhamdulillah, selesai sudah program I am a student, I am a writer siri 2 untuk tahun 2023. Diharap dengan program seperti ini akan melahirkan lebih ramai lagi penulis muda dengan karya-karya yang bermutu serta boleh memberikan kesedaran dalam mempertingkatkan martabat bangsa dan yang pastinya mencerminkan nilai tamadun bangsa kita yang kaya dengan nilai-nilai murni. Terima kasih juga diucapkan kepada moderator kita, Sister Nuha Mohamad Najib dan juga speaker Sister Sharifah Syed Zainal Ariff dalam perkongsian kita pada petang ini. Terima kasih juga kepada para penonton yang masih lagi setia bersama kami dan terima kasih di atas sokongan anda. Sebelum berakhirnya program kita pada petang ini, izinkan saya menutup majlis dengan serangkap pantun. Bunga seroja di atas para, jatuh ditimpa buah berangan. Andai kata tersirap bicara, kemaafan jua kami pohonkan. Maka berakhirlah sudah program I am a student, I am a writer siri 2 untuk tahun 2023 kita pada hari ini. Segala kekurangan yang berlaku di sepanjang program ini berlangsung, kami memohon beribu kemaafan dan kami juga memohon kepada para penonton untuk memberikan komen-komen yang membina demi meningkatkan lagi program kita di masa akan datang. Sekian, berjumpa lagi kita pada siri yang akan datang. Dengan itu, saya menutup program ini dengan tasbih kifarah dan suratul As. Sekian, wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.